our live broadcasts here on our TGIF edition, our Friday edition of the Real Estate Show. Time is changing now with the with the sun going down earlier and getting darker earlier. I'm playing with some new lighting also on the Real Estate Show, so wouldn't mind any comments there how it appears on your side for the video. So let's see here. So we're getting everything ready. I'm just waiting for the let's see.
Or an early bedtime.
For the show to get ready to start.
Nature difference for yourself by going to bounceofnature.com.
So how's your weekend been? How's your weekend look like it's going to be? And here we go. Now we're getting ready. Let's go ahead. Headphones in. Real Estate Show ready to start. Hey, Marianne. Ooh. Got the music counting down. Hey, Sam. Looks like so far we got the West Coast of Florida and the West Coast of California. Here we go. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to our TGIF edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show all about real estate. We are here heard live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. We are heard live on our original AM station. That's 1470 on the AM dial. And also lately on our 3 other FM dials. Over the years, we keep acquiring more. We got 95.3. Hello and good evening. We got 96.9, and on the other end of the dial, we got 103.9 on the FM dial. And a super good real estate day to the rest of the real estate world out there listening to us on the internet. First of all, we stream our radio show live on our website. Then you can always go 24 hours a day and hear the Real Estate Show on our website at www.automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. Just go up to the top of the page where you will find a tab called the Real Estate Show. And on that tab, you can either listen to us live if you're there between 8 and 8:30 Eastern Time, or you can listen to us on our recording, and all you have to do is choose the date of your choice. You can listen to it right there on the website. You can download it in podcast form and take us with you. And finally, you can also hear us on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, and these are free apps that you can download onto your phone, your portable device, and be able to take us with you, whether you're going for a long walk on the beach or just out and about, so that you don't want to miss out on the Real Estate Show while you're doing your thing. So I also want to thank you for listening to our show and for continuing to tell all of your friends. You know, we're watching the numbers that are hitting our website, and it's a steady growth. We're watching the numbers that visit us both during our show and even more after our show that watch our Facebook live stream. And so if you have a Facebook page, all you have to do is search for The Real Estate Show. Again, 24 hours. You can listen to us live when we're live, or you can listen to us in a rebroadcast form. And not only listen, but you get the full video experience. Also want to thank our sponsor of today's show, TimeToFixMyCredit.com, a great source for a lot of financial education, support, some information and education on financing, budget, and most interesting right now is the ability to fix, build, or strengthen your credit. Just go ahead, check it out again, That's timetofixmycredit.com. You'll be glad you did. So my name is Eric Willner, and it's time for another live worldwide edition of the Real Estate Show. And we got a great show for you today on our TGIF edition of the Real Estate Show. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Florida. And for many of you, it's thank God the week is finished. But it's been a fun week. You know, we on Fridays, we always like to do a recap of the show that we've had. Hey, Felipe, just joined us on our Facebook Live. And we like to kind of go down the list and hit the high points of what we talked about each week. Now, if you're a regular listener of the Real Estate Show, you know that we always kind of set a theme in the beginning of the week, whether it be a provocative question or perhaps just a bold statement. And this week, you know, the theme wrapped all around the prepare to relaunch, with all of the states going, raising their levels of openness, allowing more and more stores to open, increase a little bit the density, still maintaining the social distancing, still maintaining the masks as a precautionary move. And we support all of that. And that's why we've been talking about getting prepared, being prepared, getting educated, finding out where you are on the real estate ladder so that you can, you know, take the next step and be where you got to be. And, you know, today's real estate market, not only today's real estate market, but today's market, today's environment for that matter, is constantly being challenged and changing. I mentioned that I took my first airplane trip in over 6 months. For somebody who travels, you know, over 50, 60,000 miles a year, to have my first trip in 6 months was not only, you know, interesting, obviously being very cautious and doubling down on the preparation, the masks, and maintaining the social distancing, making sure, because the one thing that I don't want to do, since I don't have all of the president's doctors and all the advanced extra medicine that he has, the last thing that we can do is get sick. You know, rule number one is don't get sick. And so you add to that, the new procedures. I literally felt like I was learning how to travel again. And but I'll tell you, for the most part, I felt pretty good. I felt that people were being respectful. So that to me is the most important thing. I think that the airlines and everything in between, still a lot of stores closed in the airports. The airports were busy, but not as full as usual. The airplanes were, I would say, pretty full. I know that they've cut back on a lot of the flights, and therefore they have, you know, less flights and to carry more people. And I understand the economics of that. You know, you can't fly an airplane profitably when it's less than half full. So they need to stay in business. We want them to stay in business. And in fact, you know, of course, you know, we're rooting for the economy as a whole. So, you know, all these changes are going on. You can dwell on these changes taking place, or, you know, try to have a long educational conversation of why they're taking place, or you can look at things from a new angle and find out that there are new opportunities in each one of these changes. You know, you hear me often talking about how the pandemic was not really a freezing of time, because time went on, right? We're now in the fourth quarter of the year 2020. What's an exciting and probably mysterious year here, the year 2020, ended up being, you know, a big disappointment in terms of all of the potential that it had, when the world literally came to a temporary screeching halt on March 11th, when the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus, the COVID-19, a world pandemic. And all you have to do, though, is then take a step back and figure out, you know, in every cloud, there's always a silver lining. What is it that we can do about this? And as I look around today, I was at the bank, and I'm sitting across the table from my banker there, and we were having a conversation about what's going on. and I'm looking at all of the new things that had to be printed for the pandemic. There are certain printers that were on top of the game and ready that made a fortune because they adapted and rolled into what the market was needing. I'm sitting across, in between me and the banker is this plexiglass panel with two legs, obviously just custom made for that purpose, so that you can sit at the desk and speak with the banker. But you won't have any of that, the transmission, because there's a hard surface in between, a clear hard surface. Well, can you imagine all of these plates that are being made, and how many have been made all across the country? Because everywhere you go, whether it's to the 7-Eleven, the gas station, well, maybe the gas station already had those bulletproof ones, but everywhere else you go, whether it be Home Depot, and every store, every restaurant now has these panels. Well, who made all these panels? Made a literal fortune. And so for all of the jobs that were lost, there are also a lot of jobs that were created. We talk about the technology and the fact that, I spend probably at least half of my day now in Zoom meetings. What used to be me Zooming all over town is me sitting at my desk, Zooming person to person. Now I can meet with somebody instead of having to drive to Miami, drive an hour, and then meet with somebody for an hour and then drive another hour. I now can literally go from one meeting in Pennsylvania to another meeting in California to another meeting back in Boca Raton. It really is something phenomenal, and how comfortable people are at doing that. So let's get into the recap of this week. Now, as I mentioned, the theme of the week, as we talked about, is the relaunch. And I had a little bit of fun with the whole concept of the relaunch, because I wanted to break down the word re and talk about it in the context. Number one, re has always been RE, right? For relaunch. The RE has always been an abbreviation for real estate. I have been, everything that I do, whether it's real estate related, then there's always in parentheses or shortened, I talk about RE. That is probably the predominant thing and most topically or thematically appropriate for this radio show. But re also means to restart or reborn. So maybe you're going to rebirth yourself into a new career. For a lot of you, the same career that you were in is not waiting for you when the economy restarts. A lot of things have changed. Companies have gotten smarter, downsized. We're talking about, then when we get to our Wednesday show, when we talk about the headlines, you're going to realize, even the face of real estate has changed, with a lot less demand looking out into the future for commercial real estate, and some real opportunities on the residential side of things. So when we talk about relaunch, maybe you're relaunching from one career into another. And we're definitely going to be talking a lot about that in the coming weeks, as well as in our Thursday, brand new Thursday post radio show meeting via Zoom for free, our big BIG, that's Business Insiders Group Roundtable, where we're going to be bringing in experts from various fields. We're going to be giving you the opportunity to learn. You're going to be given the opportunity to network with other individuals. And we're going to talk a whole bunch about that when we get to our Thursday show. But another interpretation of real estate, reborn, is the recurring nature that real estate brings, recurring income, that month after month rental income. Today, I spent a good amount of the day negotiating with some of our tenants that are getting involved in different tenant assistance. And we're going to talk more about that in our Wednesday when we talk about some of the headlines and some of the meetings. But the bottom line here is that Monday, we set the agenda, we set the mood, we set the theme, we talk about, prepare now to relaunch. Don't sit still. Don't get caught in that suspended animation that many people find themselves. I look around when I look at even a lot of investors out there who are sitting back waiting for the election. They're waiting for January 1st. And let me tell you, when we get into our Tuesday show, when we come back from the break, you're going to understand that we aren't sitting still at all. We have already relaunched, and we are moving toward a full activity going on in the real estate, and I hope that you'll join us in that. So at the end of the show on Monday, I wanted to remind that we offered a free strategy session. if you want to find out about relaunching what you're doing and you're wondering not exactly how to do it, or maybe let's see what you bring to the table, what resources, you'll be surprised that your expertise and your skills in one area in a completely different career might be actually very useful and very helpful in the real estate world. And so let's have a conversation. All you have to do is go to our website at automaticlandlords.com. That's automaticlandlord.com, and just type in free strategy session, or actually better than that, you can actually set an appointment both on our Facebook page or on our website at automaticlandlord.com. Set that free appointment. We'll have a 30-minute conversation, and you'll be very surprised in what clarity we'll be able to bring to you in some of the upcoming opportunities that we're discussing here on the air. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, a few words from our sponsors. I'm going to hang out with my friends here on the Facebook Live transmission, but in the meanwhile, you're going to hear a word from our sponsors, so don't touch that dial. My name is Eric Willner. I am your host, and I will be right back. Hey, Barbara. Dancing away. Felipe, who I just saw in Houston, Texas, in the trip, safely back in California. A lot going on there. So how was your day today? I'm going to hear some of the commercials, and that way I'll be able to hear what's coming back. But your host of the Real Estate Show. As you know, we now had a very interesting conversation with a tenant who called to solicit our help in they needed to apply for some rent assistance. By the way, if you all don't know, there is and this is a resource I believe in every state. But if you dial not 911, not 411, not 611, but 211, that is for assistance, and they do all kinds of economic assistance, food assistance, rent assistance, and so forth. And if the tenant and the landlord will work together, they can find you programs to help get rent paid and mortgages paid. We're coming back. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate, America's longest running daily radio show about real estate. And we're here on our TGIF edition of The Real Estate Show, where we're talking about the highlights of this week's shows. You know, we are live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week for the last 21 and a half years, believe it or not. Here we are now celebrating 21 and a half years since 1999. And Barbara was there when we started, which is pretty cool to think about it now that I kind of pops into my mind. One of our Facebook audience listeners, Barbara, who is my late partner's wife. And when we started that show, we still kept the same theme music to the show for all 21 years, and that's in honor of my good friend Charles. Anyway, getting back on to Tuesdays, which is typically our tools, tips, and techniques, is was a conversation about our recent auction trip. And for those of you who listen to us on a frequent basis, know that about every other month we will organize what we call our tax auction experience. Now, this is a 4-day trip where we will go into a particular market. Sometimes it's Philadelphia, sometimes it's Houston, Florida, California. But we have developed a very structured, precise, and effective. You know, this is designed to win bids at the auction, and it's a 4-day experience where folks fly in from all over the country. Felipe, who is on our Facebook Live, was one of those in attendance in our Houston auction this last week. And it started last Friday when we had our orientation, our meet and our greet, and kind of laying the ground rules and the foundation and the agenda for what we were going to do. And we were going to have literally packed days from sunrise to post sunset. We were going strong 4 days in a row. The day 1 and 2 we spend on the road, and each day we drove a minimum of 20 properties. Now, this is not driving by the property. This is driving to the property, getting out, walking the property, knocking on the door, speaking with the tenants, speaking with the owners, or going around for vacant and abandoned houses, peeking inside, taking photos, lots and lots of photos. We have a dossier, a literal encyclopedia of photos, repairs, comments about the house, comments about the neighborhood, comments about market value. And so for those 2 full days, we spend analyzing the properties. There's no properties that we bid on that we haven't seen, in fact, that we haven't actually walked and visited. And that is one of the key secrets to our success in this area. Then after 2 days of doing that, we spend the third day in the hotel, where we spend the entire day analyzing the properties, all 40 or 50 properties. I mean, it can be, this was one of the smaller lists that we've had, where we were analyzing about 50 properties, a little less than 50 properties, or it could be one where we start our list with about 200 properties, where we'll eliminate things by areas that we don't want to bid in. We'll eliminate things by condominiums and land. We'll get rid of all of that. We'll get rid of all of the things that we don't want to try to bring that list down so that we can jump in and analyze, because the most that we can really do well is about 60 properties. But hey, if we have 60 well-known properties, well-documented, well-analyzed, then we're going to be in a great position to be able to make competitive offers on those properties. And so day 4, we actually go to the real thing, to the auction itself. Now, this was an incredibly interesting time, because at the last minute, they canceled the auction because the convention center where the auction takes place was still closed. So the auction was therefore canceled. Now, here we are from all over the country, ready for the auction, but we had a backup plan on doing some online bidding as well as some other properties. But we spent the day talking about auction strategies. Now, I'm not going to share all of those strategies here on the air. That's strictly for the people who come on our auction trip. But let me tell you, once you've been through our auction class, you're going to find yourself much more confident, and you'll understand why we win bids when we go to the auctions. And so that was a key thing. So that was our tools, tips, and techniques. Tuesdays, we always dive into the nitty-gritty, where the rubber hits the road in this business, on the things that you actually do, not the theory, not the textbook, what they said or what somebody did back in the 80s that used to work, but what we're doing right now. And so our next auction is going to be December 1st. So mark your calendars, December 1st. We're going back out to Houston. We're expecting that auction to be ready, up and going, because that's now in 60 days from now. So go to our website at automaticlandlord.com. If you're interested in coming on that auction, reserve your spot. It is limited. And because of the pandemic, because of the social distancing, we are using our own measures for social distancing, and therefore we're not taking the full vans that we used to take on the trip. This time we went only in SUVs. We had fewer people per vehicle, and like I said, we're doing our share of social distancing and being socially and healthy, responsible. That was our Tuesday. Now Wednesday is our headlines, where we look at the news that's going on in the marketplace, and I'll just give you a couple of the headlines that we were talking about. COVID-19 mortgage bailouts see the largest fall in as the first wave of forbearance plans end. In fact, it's actually the second wave of forbearance ended now. And we now see the numbers that were as high as 4.8 million people in forbearance now has fallen below 3 million. Now, that's really good news, because that means that we're going to have a softer landing when this happens. We know that at some point in time, all of these artificial supports that are holding up the economy, the things that are preventing more foreclosures and evictions from happening, those are going to have to expire. You know, we need to get back to contracts that were signed. Contracts will have to be honored, but we want to help as many people as possible. And it's good news that there's fewer people. More people are self-eliminating. In other words, catching back up as they're getting back to work. As more people become employed, they're also picking up where they left off on their mortgage payments. So the way that the forbearance was originally declared in the CARES Act is it was an automatic 3 months, and then you could voluntarily renew it for another 3 months. So we passed that 6-month mark, and then you could do it for another 3 months. And I think you can do that all the way out for 1 whole year. But let me advise you, as I said from the very beginning, if you can make the payments, make the payments, because you will owe the money somewhere down the road. And it's better to owe it in little chunks than in a big chunk at the end of the forbearance when those are no longer available. So that was really good news. We saw that. We saw interest rates hit another low. So mortgage refinances are at an all-time high. Interest rates are at an all-time low. All great stuff, all good information for the real estate market. We also see that red hot home prices have more consumers now saying that maybe now is not the time to buy. So they're holding off, which is a good news if you really think about it, because that's more pent up demand for when we start getting back into that economic recovery going forward. So I'm very excited about that. So that was our Wednesday, and we talked about those. If you want to hear more about any one of those days, all of those links are here on our Facebook page and also on our website at automaticlandlord.com. Pick your day, listen to your show in its entirety. There's usually a summary written there also on the website. A lot of work is put into that. Take advantage of that. Then on our Thursday show, typically named the ATM edition of the real estate show, the About the Money edition of the real estate show, I had my good friend and serial entrepreneur, Don Martin, on the show with me. And we were talking about our upcoming Thursday, and this will be coming up this next Thursday next week. We got a whole bunch of workshops for you. So you definitely want to join us on our Monday show where I will announce all the workshops. There's going to be one Monday night for our debt solution. You want to learn how to turn debt into wealth? Then stay tuned Monday. We're going to talk about something really exciting, and then we're going to have a workshop after the radio show on Monday. You want to learn about how to fix your credit, how to improve your credit, how to crush your credit in the good and positive sense. That's Tuesday night after the show as well. So Monday workshop, Tuesday workshop. Then on Thursday will be the big roundtable workshop. Again, via Zoom, we'll make the announcements on how you can join. All of these workshops are zero cost, absolutely for free. Lots of content, no cost for you to attend these. And we're going to be talking about there from the entrepreneur's point of view on our Thursday workshop. So we're going to be talking about the context of the relaunch. We're going to talk about the 4-day auction experience. We're going to talk about all of those things. The mastermind is going to be an opportunity for you to network, for you to learn, for you to mastermind. And it's going to be a phenomenal thing. We hope that you'll join us there. Anyway, the music is in my ear. That means it's time for me to go. I enjoyed this week. I hope you guys got a lot out of the real estate show. Remember, another thing that's free is for you to hit the like button here on our page here on our Facebook page. Share it, please, with more people so more people can hear about all of this great information that we're giving away to the public here on the real estate show. Anyway, this is Eric Willner signing off. TGIF for me too. Thank God it's finished. I'll be back again Monday. So until then, drive safe. Remember, wash those hands and make it a great day. Bye-bye. You too, Ken, man. Enjoy it. Stay safe. So hello, and TGIF to my friends on Facebook and on YouTube. Now we got some cool things now in the cooker for YouTube. Right now we're just recording them. We're just building up our library on YouTube, so will already be there. But YouTube will allow us to do some other extra things. It'll allow us to be more interactive. So anyway, if you want to join us, remember you can always check us out there. I'm going to go ahead and shut the YouTube transmission down. So good night and have a great weekend there. There you go.